Welcome back, everybody, to another art lessons, how to draw and color eyes from imagination. So we're going to start off by drawing a circle. Eyes are orbs, so you might as well just practice. You can do a circle, and then you're doing the iris and the pupil. So you got the whites of the eyes, you got the iris, you got the pupil. Pupil can vary in size depending on light. It's always as close to being evenly in the center of the iris as you can get. And so, just try and get it in there so it doesn't look odd. Just sort of toning a little bit of the whites of the eyes, which are never really white, but they're kind of white. So here I am drawing a lamp just to show you kind of a light source. And the light would be coming down onto the eyeball. So I'm circling where the light will hit most intensely. So the top left little circle is where the eye hits the exterior of the eyeball. And then the bottom bigger circle is the most color that you'll see on the iris. It's opposite where the eye, where the light hits the surface of the eye. As it passes through the eye jelly goo, it'll hit the iris opposite the bright spot. So here I am putting in just some soft tone on the eyeball, and then I'm just putting in a little bit of color, like some blue, a little bit more dull as you get towards the part where the highlight is, lightening the rim, darkening up the iris. It's bleeding because I was lazy and splooshed too much water around. And then adding a little more blue, putting in yellow of the light. A lot of times, you might have a white, cool white. You might have one of those warmer yellow light bulbs, which will add, the yellow light will add a little bit of color onto the eye. And then you're going to have like the white-ish reflection spot from the light source. So that's the eyeball without lids or anything. So let's try it with eyeball with some lids on it. So we got the circle. I'm going to slowly arc the top eyelid across, and that's the tear duct side. And then I'm putting a less arced lower eyelid. I feel like the top eyelid arcs more than the bottom typically. Maybe not always, but for some reason the bottom one just always looks a little straighter, and the top sort of arcs up and around. Putting in the iris, and then you can see the iris would actually go behind the top lid. So a lot of times you don't draw the full iris. That would be somebody like really surprised. So here I'm putting in some eyelashes. Got the pupil there, which is, I tried to make it even, so a little closer to the top of the eyelid because the top of the iris is going behind the top eyelid. And I drew a little arrow to show you that this eye is looking off to the side. Sort of blocking in the edges of the orbital socket, or the hole in the skull. And the eye is pushed back into that for protection. And then I'm just going to try and put in some tone. This is just a little bit of a skin tone. You can use, it's like a peach color for like a Caucasian-ish kind of, maybe Mediterranean kind of color. It's a little warm red, a little warm yellow, lots of water. If you were using oil paint, you'd have a lot of white in it. And then I'm putting in some red on where I think there'd be more blood activity. And then I'm throwing in some blue where I think there would be some shadows. The shadows could be gray, they could be earth tone brown, they could be whatever you want. I just did blue for, I don't know, looks better. Looks fun. You can see that this is mixed media paper, which does not like getting wet a lot. It's already pilling up or balling up because it's kind of cheap. It's meant more for light washes, color pencil, inks. I was just being lazy and just put watercolor on it anyway. So there you can see the same light source. You can see the bright blue at the bottom, and then it'll have a little bit more of shine at the top. And then putting in some tone on the whites of the eyes. Often also at the top, sometimes the light will be shaded at the very top of the iris, so it might be in shadow, so it'll be a little duller colors right there near the top lid, with more color coming out near the bottom. And this is all dependent on, with light sources, is dependent on where the eye's looking, how the head's tilted, but just for this scenario. And a lot of times if someone's looking straight at you, or kind of portrait-ish, you may see shadows towards the top of the iris. And so here I'm quickly drawing two eyes. I sped it up just so we can sort of see the process. I just sort of am doing all of these are just from imagination. I'm just making this stuff up. Taking the circle, remember the eye is one eye apart. Putting in little irises. I drop down the top eyebrow kind of look. It gives it a little more anger intensity. And I put in some little lines there where the bridge of the nose might be, like they're kind of snarling. And then I just put in like an orangish tone. I'm putting in some dull brown gray on top of it. A little bit of a purple, like the bags or the bits under your eyes. They often have like some bluish, maybe purple tones, and then the shadow tones, whatever you choose. And I put orange in these eyes because I was thinking maybe this guy was about to turn into a werewolf, like in American Werewolf in London, where his eyes change. Just pop the colors a little more. Just look good. And then once it dries, you can kind of come back in and noodle on top of watercolor. It's fun. So then here for the last one that I'm going to do, just real quick. This is just two eyes, one eye apart, because it's just looking straight at us. A little more arched eyebrows, a little more of a feminine eye look, maybe. A little more almond-ish. Some cooler skin tones. Some arched eyebrows. Kind of, can't think of the actress. I was thinking of somebody. I'm trying to make it cool because I'm trying to do somebody that maybe could be like a vampire. So, you know, like they're dead. Their skin's not as warm and active as Mr. Werewolf over there. And I put in the blood red eyes, the bluish tones. And, you know, not all vampires have the blood red eyes. I was just doing this for some exaggeratory purposes for fun. Just making this stuff up. So these are fun. I hope you guys try these at home. This is part 1. I have part 2 coming up pretty quick. I will be doing more eyes. We'll be going over the rest of the parts of the face, and then we'll be talking about how to make it into creatures, monsters, your own characters. So keep watching. Have fun with drawing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.